Hmm. Come on, thing. It's buffering. What is this? Have it. Oh. Hello, Louisville. Guess who's coming to dinner? Happy Monday. We're back. Guess who's coming to dinner? How's everybody? I hope everyone had a beautiful weekend. We had some decent weather today. It was a bit muggy, but I'm excited about ending up the summer. I did a lot of restreaming of past interviews with some of the people that I started interviewing this summer with. So if you were on vacation and happened to miss it, you can go back and see it. So June and July were restreams of actually June. July was restreaming June, and some of August was restreaming July. So if you got that. So, but we're back, just working on a few things for Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, putting together a program, something special for all my guests up to October. October will be 1 year that I will have been having the podcast, and I want to do something real special for my guest. And it's something that can kind of bring us together and bring us a little closer. Everybody under one tent. Let's see how that works. Hopefully that'll turn out fine. And also this Saturday, we're going to be dedicating the marker for Algonquin Park as the home of the Dirt Bowl. Remember in 2019, we celebrated 50 years of the Dirt Bowl still being in existence. And this weekend, it finished its 51st, because now we skipped the 20th, 2020. And this year was the 51st Dirt Bowl, which is now being held in Shawnee Park. So if you're out and about and want to stop by the park and help us celebrate that milestone, having a marker in the park, we'll be there this Saturday at noon. But today I've got a young lady that has one of those real important jobs that some of us don't know exactly what it is that the Human Relation Commission does. But today our guest is Miss Verna Goatley. She's going to tell us all about it. How you doing, sister?
Well, good evening, rather.
Yeah, it is evening, girl. It's dinner time somewhere.
Right.
How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me on and wanting to learn more about what we do here at the Human Relations Commission.
You know, I put in my, when I had to type up a description of what the show is going to be about tonight. And I said, for those of us that don't know all of what the Human Relation Commission does and how does it help us. And so start me out at the beginning. Like, why was this commission even started?
Well, here locally, Louisville Metro government, City of Louisville and Louisville Jefferson County came together in 1962 to create this commission to work with folks with civil rights concerns.
Okay.
So that's how everything got started with us here at the commission. So it was to protect our citizens from things like unlawful discrimination because of race, sex, age, color, religion, national origin, disability or familiar status, sexual orientation, or gender identity. Okay. And then last year in March of 2020, we signed, the mayor signed a executive order to include LGBTQ individuals. And just this past month, the Metro Council, along with the mayor's office, has passed the Crown Act. So now we will have to take discrimination cases when people have been discriminated because of their hairstyle.
That's right. And that has nothing to do with anybody but us. Now, one of us is, I got to see who it is. I think I'm echoing.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Check your volume to make sure so that we don't echo.
I don't hear echo on this side.
I don't hear it now, but
okay.
Well, that's because I'm loud. I may talk so loud I echo on my own.
Okay.
But what I'm trying to say is that the Crown Act just really is kind of specific to African Americans.
Not necessarily. We have
but basically, that's how it kind of came about.
Right. But we have some other cultures that have some different things too. And thinking about myself in my past career being in banking, and I remember I was going on a medical leave, and I decided to braid my hair.
Okay.
And my then boss came to visit me while I was out on medical leave, and interesting hairstyle. How long do you plan on wearing that? And I said, I don't know. Hadn't thought about it. And I went back to work in braids.
Right.
When I left there, I wore braids.
Right.
I have wore braids on and off throughout the rest of my professional career.
Okay. And that was the only time that somebody said something to you about it?
That's the only time I had somebody say something to me about it, but it was just so interesting now when I think about it, about, having that conversation at that time, because, banking was a very, what do you call it? Professional, strict, straight lace, black, navy blue, and gray.
Right.
I remember when we couldn't wear pants, and then when they decided to start letting us wear pants, they had to be a pantsuit.
Okay. All right. I mean, I'm just thinking about back in the day when the Afro was in. I'm quite sure. I think the African American culture kind of leaned that way. Everybody had an Afro, so you couldn't hardly say anything to anybody about that. I know my mother was at the Kentucky Hotel, and Miss M had a big fro. I was like, go ahead on. But now I've seen some of the articles and the things happening to the coaches cutting off the kids' dreads, and just humiliating things that have happened to our children in school or during school activities because of their hair.
Right. Crazy. Exactly. And when you start thinking, we have a lot of biracial individuals now where their hair texture is in between and it looks more like a curly fro or something of that sort. So, yeah.
So tell me, what is it? How does it work when someone feels like someone is discriminating against them on their job, or if they think there's some discriminatory practices going on, I don't know, at the school that they may attend, or just any, how do they start the process to get to you to help you resolve their issues?
The complaint process basically starts with a individual calling our office or sending us an email. And if you go onto our website at louisvilleky.gov and under the departments, look for Human Relations Commission. And on our page, we have a hot link there that a person or individual can fill out a form to start the complaint process. Once we receive the initial complaint, a intake person will contact the person to get more detailed information, because it's sort of like you need to know the who, what, when, where, how did this occur? Do you have any witnesses? Do you have any documentation to support it? All of those different things go through, and it's a pretty lengthy kind of assessment process a person goes through.
Mhm.
Once the assessment is taken, we have to upload forms and get signatures. Our office, our local office here, has a work share agreement with the U.S. Housing and Urban Development, as well as the U.S. Employment Commission on a federal level. So therefore, they have certain information. So we have systems that we have to upload the information to them. But as we gather our information, take the complaint, gather the information, it is transferred over to what we call an investigator. And that's where the real work begins, because the investigator will notify the person, who they are, that they need to take, more detailed information from them, have to interview the complaint, not only the complainants, but the people, the person or persons that the complaint is against. So we have to go through all of that. Sometime it might even take going on site to see, to get the visual of what is happening, but whatever documentation we can bring together. And then from there, our office acts as a intermediary to try to for the parties to come together to come to some agreeable solution. And we call it, we mostly look for conciliation. So basically the complainant, if there was something about a housing complaint that they didn't get, maybe they just want the property owner to be aware of what the fair housing laws are.
Okay.
And it might be a training of that personnel so somebody else don't have to go through it.
Right.
Or it could have been where somebody didn't get deposits or something of that sort. We don't act as the court per se, but we're a place where you can kind of do like a mediation.
A mediation. Okay.
Kind of conciliation type of agreement. And that's basically the process of what we do on the civil rights side of the house. But we also have the Citizens Ombudsman for Louisville Police Department in our department also.
It's called Citizens what?
Citizens Advocate.
Okay, Citizens Advocate. Okay.
And that
now this has to do with Metro Police.
Has to do with Metro Police. So if someone has had a confrontation or a situation with the LMPD and they feel that they weren't treated right, there is a process that they can go through to file a complaint against the police officers or whomever. And Stella Dorsey is our point person for that. And not that she's there to help the citizens through the process, because, if anything, with paperwork kind of stuff, there is always a process. And people sometimes don't have all the tools or the knowledge in order to do it. So we are there to walk them through that process, to deal with that. And
so if a person has an issue, Renee, then what they need to do is they need to start documenting.
Exactly. Documentation is the key thing. And especially with these police complaints, we've got people that have cell phone camera footage,
right,
or some kind of recording footage. If you have some kind of paperwork that that helps with your complaint, whatever it is that you have that you can work through that's what we need to have.
Okay. So if somebody is complaining, like say about a landlord, maybe that is discriminating against them, maybe just really trying to get them to move out, so you have to do things like date, place, and time.
Exactly.
Who was there, even what they had on, what they said, word for word.
Right. And that's what we're
Even
looking.
what you said, word for word.
Word. Right.
Right. Okay.
Any documentation that you have about the situation, that you can recall, and anything that you can bring that is a part of, substantiating what you're telling us,
Right.
that helps us in making that decision.
And even if they know of maybe other people that have had the same issues, that they could get them to maybe submit what happened to them.
Exactly, especially if you're
Show
in
pattern.
like
Yeah.
a employment situation and something
Mhm.
has happened on the job to a particular person, but that that some of your fellow employees there have had the same kind of issue, then
Right.
we suggest that you get that employee to file a suit too, because two complaints against the same company is better than just a single person going against that company,
Okay.
because that they act as a witness for each other.
Okay. Okay. All right.
And
Wow.
then
So go on.
there is also another part of the department that's half of the department. The other half of the department, we have compliance analysts, and we work on the certification of small businesses. So if your small business is 51% owned, operated, controlled by either an ethnic minority, a woman, a disabled or LGBT business
Mhm.
owner, then we can certify that business. And even though our procurement at Metro is under the model procurement code that we can't do set asides, we work to do a good faith effort of doing a percentage of business with those certified businesses.
So explain what a set aside is.
A set aside is whereby a company will put to the side a certain amount of procurement to go towards a certain um, diverse business.
Okay.
And we can't do that because we use taxpayer dollars, and we have to follow the model procurement code. So therefore, we make an effort to utilize diverse businesses to do business. And our
So that's
office,
women. You said
women,
it's for women,
minorities,
minorities. Okay.
disabled businesses, and
Mhm.
LGBT businesses.
Okay. So what's the benefit of certifying your business?
The benefit of certifying your business is that now, especially now, since we've had a lot of social things happening around in the communities, and
Mhm.
people are wanting to be more proactive of trying to work with and help out our business community. So the certification helps you be identified as one of these kind of businesses, and therefore maybe there's an opportunity for them to do business with these different corporate or prime companies.
Okay.
Being a lot of federal jobs, they might have a stipulation in their bid process that they're wanting to have, maybe 15% minority participation on that job. So you
Mhm.
being certified says that you are a minority business and you fit that criteria for that RFP.
I might need to get certified.
If you're not certified, Miss Janice, yes, you do need to get certified.
I'm ready. I'm ready to get certified because I hadn't thought about my business in those terms, but the things or the services that I would want to offer, I could see that just gives me more exposure also in
Right.
that world.
I
So
tell
if
I
there,
tell a I tell a supplier that's a marketing tool for you. That's a
right,
brand, that helps brand your business, and it exposes you to other, opportunities. And our certified list is not unique just for people at Metro. anyone looking for a diverse business can go into our portal and and search for companies. So
Okay.
all type of companies need to be listed in our
They can be
database.
small business. They can be uh, sole proprietorships. They can be LLCs.
All of that.
Okay.
All of
Oh,
that.
well, if that's good, girl, I'll be making my appointment so I can come see you. Because it's a lot of things that, especially small business owners, don't know about how to place yourself. I mean, even myself, I think I
Right.
was pretty astute, but I didn't know that I should. I never really thought about certifying my company.
That's one of those things. We saw each other at the open house at Molo Village at 12th
Right,
and Jefferson.
right,
And one of the occupants there is the AMP group, that they have a business accelerator program for
right.
small businesses. So basically, they're helping these small businesses get their self prepared, not only all the things that they knew they need to get their business up and going, but once they're up and going, businesses still need that technical assistance, or how do I build my business to the next level.
Right.
And that's where tools like certification comes in, because that's a tool to help you expose yourself to other entities out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And we're not the only certification organization that's out there. There are several different types of certification you can get. But the one caveat about the certification here at Louisville Metro is it's free of charge. So it doesn't cost anything for you to be certified. But you have other entities out there that has a cost associated with their certifications. But then too, they introduce you or connect you with different kind of markets. So if you are somebody that's looking to be more nationally, or deal with the Fortune 500 companies or
Okay.
something like that, that's where you have to spend money to get certified by those entities, where you'll be able to meet those type of individuals.
So certification through Metro government would allow, say, most of, when conventions come to the city, not so much in the bidding aspect of it, but when conventions come to the city and they're looking for certain services, and
Right,
the convention center has what vendors list.
right.
Does certification help you to get on a vendors list?
Um, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, I believe, have their own vendors list that they deal with. And once upon a time, they used to have a a listing for minority businesses.
Okay.
I'm not as educated that they are still doing that, but what I would suggest to you, if you were certified by us, then if somebody inquires about a business that they need, if they need a catering service or if they need a lawn care service or something, I would direct them to our portal,
Right.
because that portal is real time, kept up, so
Okay.
we are constantly updating you as we go through and certify new businesses on there.
I think that's a wonderful piece of information, because during COVID, you see a lot of entrepreneurs have surfaced.
Right.
That entrepreneurial spirit came about because people didn't have jobs to go to. You had to find. Look at me. There's no place. There was no place to go sing. No
Hmm.
clubs were open, no venues, no one was having events in venues. So me being able to sit at home in my home and have a podcast um, was an easy transition for me. I had to think of something that I wanted to do, but because of the protest and the uh, everything
Hmm.
boiling to the surface about race, I felt it was time for that conversation, and so I thought that maybe I could facilitate that conversation between the city, our citizens in the city, and different organizations, so we can see what is it that we can do about a lot of things that we need to find some solutions to. We got some issues here in the city. Now
Right.
we have an image issue, I
Right.
think, you know. So,
Well, I think you, along with some other people, kind of pivoted to do some different kind of things because we look at what's her name, Nay Tribute, that has
right,
Manhattan on Broadway, and how she opened up her doors to the Black business community to start
right,
doing pop-ups.
right,
And now
right,
they have a relationship with 4th Street Live, and once a month, those pop-up businesses can go to a more what do you say, more open market kind of
right.
place, and have a way to, merchandise their different products and services. So yes, of course.
Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of the people came up with food trucks, just all different kinds of businesses. Uh, Actually, were born during COVID.
Right. And I was reading the paper today, and it was highlighting a one of the local chefs of having what they're calling now a ghost kitchen. And I was like, that's a new term.
What's a ghost kitchen?
A ghost kitchen is where they a commercial type kitchen that a chef will operate out of for to go orders, and basically they are working with like Uber Eats, Grubhub, and
Okay,
places like that
right.
to disseminate the food or whatever. But yeah, so it's just set up there, just being there cooking and preparing stuff to go for takeout.
But I think, there's it, being an entrepreneur is a task in itself because you have to think outside the box. So
Yes,
last year made everybody think outside the box, So I'm thinking that all of these different ways that small businesses can market themselves, and to be a certification is there for a reason, because that gives you some kind of respectability that you took some steps
right,
to
exactly.
make sure that your business has the qualifications that are to be met in order to be certified. So, which may give a customer or a potential client some level of comfort.
Exactly, exactly. It just it shows that what you have done, that you have the capabilities of doing what they're wanting you to
What
do.
you say you can do.
Can do.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Is it
And
a long
that's
application
where
process for that?
no, it's not. And everything is online. We do the certification application is an online process. You will be contacted by a compliance analyst if you need additional information. We have to do a site visit to you, whether it's a home-based business or a storefront business. We still do a site visit to go through different papers and things about your business to make sure you are the person that's operating the business. It's easy for a person to put down that they're 51% owner of the business. But if I start asking you questions about how that business operates and you can't tell me, and you're referring me to somebody that doesn't meet the criteria, like a woman-owned business, and you're telling me, well, I have a male, he does this, I have a male that does that. So my
Mm-hmm.
thing is, how are you operationally in control of this business? If something happens to that male person, can you
Mm-hmm.
go out there and do the jobs that this person is normally set up to do?
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't, then that means that you're not really in control in operating the business. Your
So,
name is on the paperwork, but you're not really doing the work.
okay. Okay. So I see where you're going with that. I'm trying to, I've got a scenario here in my head. So that's when, say I have a company, and my company is basically me,
Mm-hmm.
but my husband is a part of my company.
Right.
Okay, so that wouldn't just be a minority based. I could sign up under that minority.
You can sign up as a minority and as a woman
A
owner,
woman.
as long as
Do
you're
both of them.
51% controlling that company.
Okay.
And so therefore, in the event that if your husband is 49% of the business, but you have to identify that the 51% holder is the one that's actually
Doing
managing,
the work.
making the decisions, making the financial infusions to the business, all of that kind of
Okay.
thing.
Is there a lot of paperwork to follow up once you become certified?
No, I mean, really and truly, your certification stays intact for 3 years.
Okay.
During that 3 year, they will send you out a follow up just to see if the business is still operating as it was when it was certified.
Okay.
And that's what we call a no change affidavit, that you just sign off that everything is still the same as it was when you started the business, and that's the end of it.
Okay. Well,
And
that
our
was
certification is accepted by a lot of different organizations. Now, if you are already certified by one of the national or state organizations, we can do a reciprocal certification so you can get in our database. And that just that's a basic application with general information, and you have to give us the documentation of who you're certified with, whether it's a certificate or a letter of acceptance for the certification.
Okay. Wow. I think a lot of people will be glad to know that a certification is available to them.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think some people, well, I didn't think about it. And not that I would be the one to always necessarily have to be the one to think about stuff, but even for my company, I hadn't thought about certification, because I was kind of looking at trying to figure out how to get on vendors list.
Oh, okay.
With hotels, you got to, I'm trying to put together an event to celebrate my 1 year anniversary of having the podcast. But you go to certain hotels, or when you're picking out your venue, you can only choose from who's on their vendors list, like for your caterers or your decorators and things of that nature. And sometimes it's just not who you want to take care of your event.
Right. Well, if you go to a hotel, you have to utilize the hotel's whatever their food vendor, their catering vendor is.
Right.
Places like the convention center, international convention center, they have their own caterer service there. But if you go to a venue like Melwood Arts Center, Louisville Central Community Center, the Ali Center, they have like a vendors list of the different caterers that you can
choose from. Okay.
And most of them,
a lot of people would want to, especially small businesses, would want to get on those kind of lists, because as conventions come, that's repeat business.
Exactly.
And that's how they can really establish themselves and make a name for themselves, if they have those kind of opportunities. But then sometimes those getting on those vendors lists are some hoops you have to jump through too.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I like this certification. I'm going to be certified, bona fide, qualified. Hey. But I just wanted, everyone to know how it works. It has the Human Relations Commission has a civil rights component to it. If you think your civil rights are being someone is working against your civil rights, or not allowing you your freedoms per se, because that's what civil rights are freedoms, supposedly, that they trying to seem like they want to take away from us. But we have to keep fighting for these civil rights. We got to be in a good fight, huh?
Right. It's good trouble.
Necessary. It's good trouble, honey.
Necessary trouble.
All right. And then the other part. So the housing urban development. Now that's the state component of it.
No, that's the federal HUD.
Oh,
housing and urban development.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
That's good. And the U.S. Employment Commission is also federal.
It's also federal, right?
Okay. Okay. I got you there. So HUD and U.S. Employment. Okay. So see, people
And
need to know
in
where to
our
go.
jurisdiction of who we can do complaints are only individuals or folks within the Jefferson County area. We from time to time may get a call from someone that has had a violation and it's outside of Jefferson County. Then we refer them to the Human Rights Commission, that is the state agency.
Okay. Okay. So Human Relations Commission is only covers Jefferson County. Okay.
Only Jefferson County.
And anybody outside of that in the state of Kentucky or in this, I guess, this general area would then deal with the Human Rights
Commission.
Okay.
Human Rights Commission for the state of Kentucky. And then, of course, there's a commission for the state of Indiana. If it's something that happened over in Indiana,
right,
that they have their own commission over there too.
Well, that's a whole lot of information. You know,
Well,
you're doing a whole lot of work, huh?
It's a whole lot, but you know what? It's fulfilling work because we are helping people. And that's what it's all about, is helping people, getting the word out there, building folks. And that's all I've been doing probably the last 30 years of my career, has been in helping, because I came from business development side. Now I'm on the resource side of helping businesses. So still in the fight.
Hey, look, that's beautiful. I want to thank you. I want to thank you for your service. I want to thank you for having the know-how to do what you do, you know, because you just never know where you get your information from.
Right.
You know, I didn't know all of what the Human Relations Commission did, but I said, well, I was going to find out today.
Well, that's what we are here to help our citizens. So if you have someone that you know of, and especially now with all the things that are going on in the housing world, with the moratorium on evictions and having a lot of that kind of stuff, just give us a call, because we do have information to refer people to resources out there that are needing help with you know, paying their rental payments or what have you, so that they don't get evicted. And I think even in looking at,
is there a specific? It's still just to call your office, or is there some place specific that they can go online?
You can always call our Metro call line, and that's at 311 or 574-5000.
Okay, hold on. Let me just make me a little banner. At okay, so it's 502
574
okay
5000 is our Metro call line.
Okay.
And that's like our informational line for Louisville Metro government. To call our office directly, our number is 574-3631.
Because, you know, a lot of times everybody's got to most people have a cell phone nowadays.
Right.
And to be able to just have a number that they can call. Now I'm going to put eviction information.
Yeah, because we have two different Metro departments that is working on eviction type stuff. It's under our Develop Louisville department, our in the area's community housing, but we also have a component over in community, resilience department also. So therefore, if they call that 311 number, they would be able to direct them more into where who they need to contact for more information or assistance.
Okay, so now I've got the 574. Should be 5,000. I saw it. I started saying, well, that ain't enough numbers.
Yeah, missing a zero.
And the other one is 574 430
3631.
I've got that one. Okay, I've got that
That's
one.
that's for the Human Relations Commission. So if you want to know anything about your civil rights or certification, that's where they would call.
Okay. Well, Miss Verna Goatley, I thank you so much for your time. And it's dinner time. You can go home now. It's
Thank
time to go
you.
home and eat. And I thank you for your time, and I appreciate you. You'll be getting an invitation to have a real sit down dinner with me. It's
I
coming.
look forward to it. And anytime, Janice, that you have questions about anything that we're doing here, feel free to reach out and call.
And I'll extend the same invitation to you. If there's something going on that you think our community really hasn't grasped and they need to know about, call me and say, I need to go back on the show. I got something to tell folks.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm working with 4th Street Live on doing a vendor fair coming up this fall. We haven't gotten a date on it yet, but that's where we pull together a lot of different companies, organizations that have procurements to come and talk to suppliers that are looking to do business, and we're gearing it toward our diverse business community.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Oh, I need to know about that. When you get that date, we'll come back on and we'll talk about that and how you all plan to lay it out and who needs to come, and so people have a better understanding, because sometimes it's just somebody just needs to say, come sit down and listen to this, because
Right.
You want to know how to do this. Well, this is where you're going to get your information.
And that's where we want to, because I'm going to have several different departments from Metro there, because what happens is we have like 3 levels of spending we do here at Metro.
Okay.
$5,000 or less is done at the departmental level, and they just go out and do spending. That $5,000 or less could help a small business. That might be a good, something if somebody do promotional items, or if we have a small janitorial job or something like that.
Right.
We could just connect with them. Then anything over 5,000 but under 30,000, we have to get three quotes. And we ask that one of those quotes be from a diverse business. So therefore, that did still to give that diverse business a opportunity. But you don't know about these things because we don't post them out anywhere. So I want people from Metro to come to this business fair with those type of opportunities. So as they're talking to people and they say, hey, do you have anything coming up for janitorial, or do you have anything coming up for lawn care or something like that, then they can talk about those opportunities and exchange information so they can start reaching out to these people.
Right.
And then we have another unique thing that they have put on our software program called Bonfire, and that's by which purchasing, the software that they use to list their RFPs and their procurement opportunities. But you can go in on that once you have built your profile in Bonfire. And if you are interested in being a subcontractor on a particular bid, they have a way you can put your information in there so that the prime contractor can see that you have an interest and reach out to you to work on that bid. So we have some different tools out there that we're working with to be more intentional of doing business with our diverse business community. But we're in the beginning stages, but hopefully it will grow and take off, and we'll see some real good success stories from all of it.
Okay, now let me ask you this question, and I know this. I'm gonna take you off script. You first mentioned about I don't know if we were on the air or not, about the funds that the city is working on figuring out how to disperse these funds.
Mm-hmm.
The rescue they're called the rescue.
American Rescue Plan spending.
Okay. Now, this is something maybe you can answer this question for me. Now, it seems to me that I know that there were some funds that were from Metro government that were allocated to the West End Opportunity Group.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And some small businesses are able to apply for some of those funds. But those funds are being dispersed, to my knowledge, and that didn't have to be all that in knowing, but they're loans. My question is, it seems like when it's an opportunity, when we get funds, small businesses, we get the funds as a loan instead of a grant.
Hold up. There's different monies that have been allocated. Now the West End Opportunity money is geared toward the TIF project that's out there on the table right now. So that $10 million is towards that initiative.
Okay.
Because that's something separate. During COVID, there was a grant process that was done under Louisville Forward that did grants up to, what was it? Up to $50,000, I believe it was, per business could qualify for.
Okay.
And basically that was a grant that was not a loan. They don't have to pay that money back.
Right.
But it was a very paperwork intense type of process because of the federal dollars and because it was COVID. So therefore, not only did the business had to come up with a plan of how of the expenditure of that money, but how COVID made a difference in their business or what have you. So therefore,
so there had to be an element of how you dealt with whatever your plan was under the cloud.
Right. An easy one would be a restaurant. Because of COVID, restaurants were not able to be open because of the pandemic and people and all of that kind of stuff. So a lot of businesses lost money. So this money helped them to, number one, pay rent, utilities that they owed,
keep their employees.
Yep, keep their employees. If they had had bought product that maybe got it spoiled because of what happened, they could get reimbursed for that. But it was up to $50,000. That was a grant.
Okay.
But yes,
are they gonna have any more of those?
They are.
Is all that money gone?
All of that pot of money is gone. But now the Metro Council and the mayor's office is working on that $388 million that's still lingering out there, of how they're going to spend that money over this next year. Right. And basically, the Metro Council have been collecting a lot of information. That, remember, they had about 3 or 4 different community town hall type of meetings to get information.
I sent in my information online. They had a place where you could
you could push it online and things of that sort. So today the mayor did come out with a outline of the spending plan that basically said that the priorities that they got for this, first was with homelessness and affordable housing. Second was workforce development and small business support. And third was healthy neighborhoods.
Okay.
The fourth was with public safety. Okay. So those are the 4 big pots that were identified in most of the information that was given. Given that people need to realize we cannot use this COVID money for infrastructure. Because we had a lot of people talking about, different things that needed to be like roads repaired, bridges repaired, all of that kind of stuff. And I understand the Senate and the House is looking at different monies for that kind of thing.
Right.
This is supposed to be COVID related type of entities. Okay. So that's where we are with it right now today. And at some point, they probably will actually push out the information in order for people to start submitting their proposals on the projects that they feel that they want to go for.
Okay. So I sure hope that some of those funds still, to me, are in grant. I mean, a one person, two person, small business like myself, looking to maybe benefit from some of those. Say, I've got a program that has to do with crime prevention.
Okay.
Where I want to work with the 17 to 25-year-olds that may not, because we've got a lot of programs for the younger children, but those ones that fall through the crack, that graduate from high school, don't have a job, didn't go to college, sitting at home, making bad decisions, that they need something constructive to do to put them on a right path, maybe where they can find a way to go back to school. But they need something. They need to use their time a little bit more wisely. And for instance, say that they have talent.
Right.
Exactly.
So I know exactly where you're coming from, because I'm a volunteer with the Chestnut Street Black Achievers Program.
Right.
And one of the things, the program was built upon college readiness. But at this date, we know everybody is not a college material person.
No.
So therefore, this year, this is our first year, we're starting a new cluster called Skilled Trades Cluster. And so therefore, we're going to be able to expose these high school students to other things, other opportunities out there to learn some type of trade, whether it be in the construction field, maybe it's coding and IT, maybe, some of these other things that they can do and still earn a livable wage.
Right.
One of the programs that is going on right now, LG&E, they were looking over their workforce, and they had a lot of people that were retiring that does the lines, that up on the electrical lines.
Right.
So they have partnered with JCTC and is doing a 10-week course with individuals to be able to do this lineman work. And when these people graduate from the program, not only do they graduate with the knowledge, on the job training, they will have a tool belt with their basic tools that is needed for this job, and an opportunity to go get work at the utility company.
Right. They'll have a job. They'll have a job. Well, they'll be job ready.
Right.
More so than they were.
Exactly.
So that's the same thing I'm looking at in the arts. Our children are very talented.
They are.
I can sing, I can dance, I write, I act, I can model. I'm a comedian. I'm into the performing arts naturally. Right. So my whole thing is, I've got all this up in my head that I know from and I'm proud to say my 50 years in show business.
Right. And some of the back doors of how to tell these
just how to get started. They don't even know how to get started.
Right. How to get in, because it's not like you just can't show up. There's a process to go through to get there.
With everything you're going to do in life.
Right. And it's people like yourself and the skill set that you have. I wouldn't know the first thing about telling somebody how to get into that type of business, but I know enough that I could refer them to a person like yourself and say, you need to talk to Janice, because this was what she used to do back in the day.
Right.
You know, you perform with big time groups and stuff. You know that back office and
Right.
how
Right.
those things work out and stuff. And
But
that's what.
along with that, I can still teach them because I did used to teach at JCPS for about 2
Okay.
years. I was a health and physical education teacher. I was your
Okay.
neighborhood gym teacher.
Okay.
Um, but that they also have to learn most things that I could teach them, even though it's in the arts, are the same things that they would need for any other job. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the life skills, the budgeting, the housing, how to go about doing the day-to-day things and getting rid of barriers so you can move forward. You know, so you
Exactly.
still, and your work ethic, you know, your time management, things of that nature. They still have to learn all of that, you know, now, because I can't teach you how to sing. And I may not be able to teach you how to dance, but I can tell you where to go take some classes,
Right.
you
But
know, and
but you
because they've got to
exactly
put in their own sweat equity.
right. You were exactly right. And I didn't, you know, sometimes you take certain things for granted, but then you have to look and break down that some people don't have those what we call soft skills.
Okay.
You know, it's about, okay, you got a job, you work from 8 to 5. It's not that you walk in the door at 8. If you're
Right.
a person that needs to go through a ritual before you can go to work, that means you might need to get there at 7:45, do your ritual, so you're sitting at your seat at 8 o'clock and
Right.
starting your job.
And you need to get up a little bit earlier,
Yeah,
especially
yeah,
if you got to catch the bus. But don't nobody want to catch the bus anymore. It used to
right.
be a
But I
time,
mean, but
Renee, that we caught the bus.
yeah, but
That's how
these
we
are soft
maneuver.
skills that some of these younger people don't have.
Right.
They don't understand. I
Right.
mean, it's little things like that, and they don't understand the part of you
That they
get
need
paid.
them.
You you get paid through a checking account,
Right.
and they be like, "What do you mean?"
Oh no,
They
because they don't have to write checks anymore.
right.
There are no more check writings.
Right, but you have to have a bank account in order to get paid. That's how we get paid at Metro. They
Right.
don't do hard checks anymore. So you know you got to know how, and your credit need to be good enough that you can go to the bank
Right.
and open an account so that you
Right.
can get your paycheck.
All right. Well, maybe, you know, there might be some instances that I can come and talk to one of your. I mean, I know you're doing skilled. Your program is more skilled, but when if you find some students within the
Okay,
hub that may come under my umbrella, let me know. Because I mean,
sure will.
I've got all this I need to share with somebody. I've got a
Okay.
4-year-old great niece who is me reincarnated. So I'm just pouring everything I have into her because she's gonna know how to do everything.
I hear you.
I want to say thank you so much for joining me. And girl, you know what? I thought we was gonna talk about 20 minutes. We didn't talk the whole hour, but you know that's
Hey,
excellent because
that's no
we had
problem.
some things to talk about.
Exactly,
And
exactly.
you're doing the work, you're doing the heavy lifting, and folks need to know where you are, what you do, and who can help them. So I hope that if someone saw this will come back on. It'll be on Facebook, it'll be on YouTube. It can also for people that have Roku. I have my own Roku channel. You have to go to
Oh,
Roku and add
okay.
the channel under Jantastic Productions. Everything's under Jantastic Productions. But the name of the show is Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? Miss
Oh,
Verna Goatley.
well,
Bon
thank
appetit,
you.
darling.
Thank you, Janet. I really appreciate being on. Take
Thanks
care,
for coming.
darling.
Thanks. All right, darling. Tell Miss Robin I said hey.
I sure will.
All
Bye
right.
bye.
Bye-bye. All right. There we go. Information. I'm trying to share information with you. I want you to know the things that you need to know because you never know when you need to know what you need to know. Did you get that? You'll never know when you need to know what you need to know that you don't know. Come in handy. Civil rights, got a job, certification, human relations, human rights, human relations commission, is Jefferson County. Human Rights Commission is state of Kentucky. Okay, so got a lot of things going on, and those numbers down there you can call Metro, and they can guide you if you're having difficulty obtaining some finances to stop evictions. There are some numbers at the bottom. Write them down. If it's not for you, it might be for somebody else. Give it to somebody else. And on that note, I have to say it's 8 o'clock. It's dinner time. Guess who's coming to dinner? Bon appetit. Enjoy your evening. Thank you so much for joining us. See you Friday.